Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Karex. We're going to be taking a look at another completed city on the Twitch channel. This time a little bit smaller of a city because we actually did this one in a single 24-hour stream. We just did a 24-hour stream, the second one that we've done on the channel, and the second time that we've used it to support the American Cancer Society. So that was a really good time. It's a really good time. And this is what we built in that 24 hours. Now, to be fair, we probably spent about 20 hours actually like sort of dedicated building, and then we were doing some like marbles, giveaways, and some other things. But so this was probably more like 20 hours of gameplay. And then also, you know, of course on Twitch, that's kind of 20 hours of distracted gameplay in a good way, right? But this is essentially the city we put together. It's sort of on this sort of Austrian Alps inspired map, although we're not using the appropriate map theme to actually make it like the Austrian Alps. These are supposed to be there's supposed to be snow on these mountains and things. Anyways, this is kind of the city we got, and it actually worked out really well for a shorter build because most of the sort of flat buildable land is in sort of these skinny little strips along the water and things like that, and then you have sort of the hillier land as you go up into the Alps, I guess, or whatever. So a little valley town, and actually this is kind of cool, definitely different than anything we've done, and it was neat to have that water to kind of just, you know, naturally play off. There was this map. Again, this is a great example, I think, of a map that kind of forces you to do some creative things, to do some things that are outside of your comfort zone, and to ultimately get some things that look pretty good as a result. And that's really just, you know, giving a lot of credit to the map there. You can see that we put a bunch of trees down here. We never really came in here and really did a thick dollop of trees. Some of these areas look a little bit barren. The map is not been, there's no city's ever completely finished, right? No city's ever completely finished. We could have done more to kind of like seal this one off. And this is where the city actually started here. And just basically just a normal main street. But this is actually a city where we did not do a loop. We just kind of went with it. And we do kind of have a loop in the sense that this is a roundabout on this end for the industrial area. So the core sort of generic dirty industry here, the initial neighborhoods here, the initial commercial in this section. And we also have a little city park in here that's kind of nice. Just kind of like a little bit of a, it looks like a pencil actually, to be honest, right here. But it's just basically sort of like just a simple little park. Nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. Eventually we ended up putting in the bridge that went across. We have a couple bridges that go across the water, but initially, you know, first we kind of built this way, and then we went down ultimately what became sort of the main downtown area over here. First sort of heading into town, you kind of go by the campus, which I think turned out pretty good. Pretty simple, but, you know, a bunch of, you know, sort of a blocky area for the campus, and then it sort of goes up and over into this little, almost what kind of becomes kind of like a little bit of a cutout of this mountainous, so not really mountainous, but hilly area here with some texture. So it kind of cuts out there, put the big buildings for the campus over here. So the campus kind of extends that way. Again, we can see sort of the downtown extending through this way. It looks like this isn't actually as filled as much as we would like, but there you have it. We do have the nature park over here, which I think is kind of neat in the middle of this downtown area. I think it looks pretty good. I think we did a good job there. It's kind of, you know, it's just an interesting place to have a nature park, and I think the tree allocation, the rocks and stuff that we put in there makes it look nice. So yeah, just a big blob of a downtown area. That was one of the goals, was to have a larger downtown area than some of the other cities, because we are not using realistic population with this city specifically. We're just kind of, just because it was a 24-hour build, and we just wanted to kind of build and have fun and not really think too hard about anything. We do have a little bit of a European area. We did originally have this connected, so this area looked a little bit better and more sealed off. Like, that's kind of awkward. We kind of need trees in here and stuff to make this look really good, but just a little bit of a European town on the back end of this downtown. And yeah, there's definitely, you can see there's a lot of empty space here, which looks kind of just awkward. We definitely should have some trees or even buildings or something that's going to tie this together a little bit more seamlessly. It does look okay, you know, from farther away, but close up it does look a little bit awkward. Just some sort of nicer buildings kind of lining this area. We have some eco housing, some more sort of the downtown sort of extending onto the other side here. Lots of buildings that got to their highest level because it is getting on the water there. In fact, we ended up keying off this side, it looks like, for whatever reason. So we have a key right on this side. We were kind of flipping back and forth, like, do we key the whole thing? Do we not key the whole thing? Here we have like a nice beach. We ended up putting in some hotels here. to kind of take advantage of this beach area. We don't really have the palms and things. Again, that the detailing is kind of lost when you do a build that's a little bit more just based to be kind of like based on, you know, let's just dump stuff down, fill up the space, and try to do some interesting road design or something maybe in there too. Which, to be honest, the road design, it mostly goes with the flow of the mountains and it goes with the water and stuff like that. It's not bad. It's not great. This is our little prison island. A little bit of detailing here, not too crazy. Just kind of lined it with some rocks and put the CIA headquarters here and a prison in the old sort of fort, I guess, water fort or whatever that thing is called. Some eco housing sort of on this area, tucked into these little neighborhoods at the base of this very wooded hill. Stadiums as we sort of expand this way. This was later development. This was actually the last development that we did. So we expand this way, though, we get some more little neighborhoods, but we also get some more commercial zones, office zones, because I think at one point we just needed a bunch of jobs. So we have the American football stadium here. These are all kind of like nestled in the trees, I think, quite well. Leisure areas here, offices, just because we needed the jobs. Is again, football stadium there, American football, or sorry, American football over here, actual football over here. And then here I think, do we have, is it 2 or is it 3? It's just 2. We have oil, doing a little bit of an oil drilling next to the river here. Probably not the most ecological thing, but there you have it. Drilling up some oil over here near the river, and then sort of, you know, doing some processing and moving it. Here's a big distribution area for these industrial sites. Big roundabout. It kind of distributes through, you know, oil. This is the ore industry, and then this is the distribution. So that's the 1, 2, 3 of the roundabout, and of course the other one just, it gets people in. So here we have some sort of ore activity down here. Getting the ores coming up here to store and then ultimately kind of move over to do processing. Just kind of moving around these hilly areas. Almost kind of looks like maybe we used to do some extraction here, but now we've gone a lot deeper over time. Maybe we did some extraction, you know. So we've kind of carved this hill up with the history of this ore area, but it's moved, and right now the active ore extraction is happening down in that lower bit. This city actually has an immense amount of rail connections, like even just 3 connecting to this one side, and those rails kind of go off, and you can see them kind of going off and doing their thing. So it's an interesting map with a lot of connections. It doesn't have boat though, of course, because I don't think you could really get a boat up and down there. There might be, no, this is a lake, so that's all blocked off. Yeah, no boat connections, but good train connections. And we ended up putting in the airfield over here. If we come up to here, we could see a rocket launch site, so sort of a space program up here on this very high hill with some pretty good looking switchbacks. I think this was probably supposed to be like a camping site or something out here, some sort of something out there that we never really got around to. This is our forestry industry. This was the first one we put in, and this is the one we probably spent more time, at least more than the oil and the ore. Those were kind of just slapped on at the end. This one we spent some decent time to kind of like an overall kind of a switchback system. I'd like this to be a little bit more curved here to show that this is the main road, except for because really what we wanted is, I don't know, we kind of wanted this to be the main road, and it didn't quite pan out that way. But this area is kind of neat looking. I mean, you know, we're extracting over here. We got some worker barracks up here. Maybe they've already extracted in this area. We're letting this regrow. We're processing over here, processing and storage and stuff, and then kind of pushing that down where we do have eventually a rail connection that they can use down here. Traffic, I believe, is at 87%. We can take a look at that. Actually, it's gone down to 85%, but I swear it's been bouncing around up as high as 89%. Of course, this area is quite a lot of flow, but for the most part, it is flowing, right? So there's a lot of flow through there, but it is moving. Looks like we do have a little bit of a hiccup there, which is kind of weird, and that's being caused by these people needing to peel off. Well, that's an easy fix. The fact the AI is even set up that way, that these people actually like are going from this outer lane to there, is just absolutely bonkers. But that's an easy fix. We're not going to fix it now because, you know, this is pretty much the end of the city, and the traffic is flowing, right? Traffic is flowing. The only public transit I think that we have is we have the ferries going about. Those are actually getting decently used, surprisingly. And then, of course, we have, you know, we have train stations for cargo. And then this one, I believe, is actually for getting in new pedestrian traffic. But we don't have any, like, train traffic for just citizens moving about. This is just for people coming into the city and people leaving the city. And then same with the airport. We do have people coming in via the airport, but although it looks like not very many. Not very many. 59 people on that jet plane. Okay, right on. And that's the city, guys. That is the city. We don't really have a name for it, but it's the completed city for the 24-hour stream that we just did on the Twitch channel. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next one. And hopefully, we're gonna have some tutorials coming out soon and stuff like that, because I got a big list of things that I want to do. Just haven't quite done it yet. So I will see you guys later. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a good one, guys.